Trump just pardoned a drug lord responsible for 4.5 billion cocaine doses. A man who literally said he wanted to shove it right up the noses of gringos and then screamed on Air Force One that his MRI was absolutely perfect, except he has no idea which part of his body was even scanned. And the person defending all of this, Karoline Leavitt. Imagine being Karoline Leavitt. Every day you wake up and you put on your finest Amazon blazer. You kiss your kid goodbye and prepare to go forth and gaslight America about why drug traffickers are only bad unless they're rich and connected, and why shooting survivors clinging to a boat is self-defense, and why we should all just relax because Trump's mystery organ scan came back perfectly normal.
Does it at all undercut the administration's messaging while you have these congressional Republicans defending the strikes on the narco-terrorists and then a pardon for a convicted drug trafficker? Does that make it more difficult for your members to defend your administration's policy?
I don't think so, Jackie. I think that President Trump has been quite clear in his defense of the United States homeland to stop these illegal narcotics from coming to our borders, whether that's by land or by sea. And he's also made it quite clear that he wants to correct the wrongs of the weaponized Justice Department under the previous administration. And Ouija, I'll call on you because I think we're wearing matching blazers today.
I can't even acknowledge the blazer comment, but what I will say is Karoline Leavitt is actually a big part of the reason why when new people discover my content, instead of saying, welcome to my channel, I need to say, sorry for the jump scare. Because stunts like this, let me paint you a picture of Trump's latest act of generosity. Juan Orlando Hernández, former president of Honduras, convicted for conspiring to import over 400 tons of cocaine into the United States. That's 4.5 billion doses. Billion with a B, because sometimes the alphabet still matters. Prosecutors called him at the center of one of the largest and most violent drug trafficking conspiracies in the world. And yes, he allegedly told a buddy he wanted to stuff the drugs right up the noses of gringos. Trump, Karoline, and I are gringos, by the way. And Hernandez literally controlled cocaine labs and armed traffickers and pocketed 138.5 million while using the Honduran military and police to run his operation. But Trump saw all this and saw some dollar signs. So it was all cocaine, schmocaine, because like the Trumps, Hernandez's family still has significant wealth and power in Honduras. Enough power for Trump to just play in the criminal justice reform sandbox. And of course, Trump has a well-documented history of mixing presidential actions with future business interests. But this time is just different. Just like the deadly boat strikes.
Following up on Gabe's question, you said that the follow-up strike was lawful. What law is it that allows no survivors?
The strike conducted on September 2nd was conducted in self-defense to protect Americans in vital United States interests. The strike was conducted in international waters and in accordance with the law of armed conflict.
And then on this pardon for the Honduran president,
we've really gotten pretty loosey-goosey with the term self-defense lately, haven't we? So Leavitt is basically saying Admiral Bradley acted within his authority and the law when he ordered a second strike on people already clinging to life to a boat and then came back to shoot the survivors. It's just to be thorough. 11 people dead. Karoline says it was perfectly legal and within authority, so everyone can relax. Trump claims he wouldn't have wanted that second strike, which is wild considering it also happened months ago under his direct chain of command. Either no one told him or he blacked it out. It's hard to say. Even more disturbing is CNN's Zach Cohen noted that there have been questions about whether every boat that they've hit was actually heading towards the U.S. After the September strike, Rubio said that the vessel had likely been headed towards Trinidad and Tobago, which is its own country and a country that is not a part of the U.S. But honestly, who's to say? Because Trump's latest medical update proves that some mysteries are a little bit closer to home. Some are happening right upstairs, if you know what I mean.
They asked about my MRI. MRIs are very,
Governor Walz asked you to release the MRI records.
Will you tell us what it was
Governor
for?
Walz, you mean the incompetent Governor Walz? So if they want to release it, it's okay with me to release it. It's perfect.
What were they
It's like my phone call where I got impeached. It's absolutely perfect. So if you want to hear about it or if you want to release it, do you want to have it released?
Yes,
News Nation, failing News Nation?
Oh, sir, we're not failing.
News Nation is doing lousy, by the way. But if you want to have it released, I'll release it.
Please, can you tell us what they were looking at?
For what, releasing?
No. What part of your body was the MRI looking at?
I have no idea. It was just an MRI. What part of the body? It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you,
too.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, so no idea why Trump always has to pop out of his little lair in Air Force One like Oscar the Grouch, shouting about his MRI and how it was perfect. But here we go again. This time, he's shouting that his MRI was perfect. My favorite part is that he admits he has no idea which body part was even scanned. You literally went into a claustrophobia tube and just forgot what you were in there for. That's not how most medical appointments work. You don't just accidentally wander into an MRI machine like it's a Starbucks bathroom. Then he gets weirdly defensive. It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. Nobody asked about your brain this time, Donald. You brought that up completely voluntarily, unprompted, which is definitely what people with functioning brains would do. Volunteer that the scan wasn't about their brain before anyone could even ask or suggest that it should have been. And moreover, I just need to add that in case you don't know much about MRIs show structure, not function. You can have a flawless looking brain, not Trump, but just like in general, and still not remember what part of your body you just got scanned. Case in point. So when journalists ask a completely reasonable follow-up question, literally just like, hey, you were in this MRI, what body part did you get scanned? Trump went off and says, Newsmax sucks. Like, imagine being that reporter for a second. You show up to work, Oscar the Grouch pops out, and you ask a normal question about which organ got scammed during the MRI, and Trump screams at you. And he's still the president of the United States. And then he starts insulting your network. Looks a lot like micromanaging a toddler would. And she is literally every woman ever, this journalist. And everyone who's ever had to stand there as mediocre men, explain something incorrectly, and then you ask for clarification like, okay, I know you're full of shit, but I'm just going to ask you the question I know the answer to. And that question is, what body part did you get that perfect MRI score on, my guy? And instead of answering the question, it's just another tantrum. And you suck and you're unprofessional. Sounds about right. We've all been there. The incompetence, the defensiveness, the immediate personal attack when questioned. It's every terrible man who failed upward, but still thinks you're the problem for being a silly woman. But don't worry, Karoline Leavitt is here to clear up everything for us.
He would release the results of his MRI. Is that happening right now?
It is happening right now. As part of, and this is a summary from the president's physician, and we will release it right now. I think my team has it teed up for all of you. I'll read it for you, and then you'll get it physically as well. As part of President Trump's comprehensive executive physical, advanced imaging was performed because men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health. The purpose of this imaging is preventative, to identify any issues early, confirm overall health, and ensure the president maintains long-term vitality and function. President Trump's cardiovascular imaging was perfectly normal. No evidence of arterial narrowing impairing blood flow or abnormalities in the heart or major vessels. The heart chambers are normal in size, the vessel walls appear smooth and healthy, and there are no signs of inflammation or clotting. Overall, his cardiovascular system shows excellent health. His abdominal imaging is also perfectly normal. All major organs appear very healthy and well perfused. Everything evaluated is functioning within normal limits with no acute or chronic concerns. In summary, this level of detailed assessment is standard for an executive physical at President Trump's age and confirms that he remains in excellent overall health. Again, we will provide that to you. I think that's quite a bit of detail, and in the effort of transparency, the president promised it last night, and we have delivered today. So there you go.
Okay. I love how Karoline is so hyped to read this, and the emphasis she puts on random words like she thinks she just absolutely ate. Cardiovascular. The way she delivers updates with such confidence, as if she just called Trump's perfectly normal MRI just a perfectly normal day. Just a perfectly normal 79-year-old president whose MRI results are announced via a press conference. A man who was photographed this very weekend looking like a melting wax figure that wandered a little too close to the heat lamp. all while the public is still trying to figure out which part of his body got scanned. The White House emphasized that men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health, which is true, according to the internet. Everyone benefits through evaluation, especially when the results are being read aloud like bedtime poetry. Trump's heart is allegedly normal. His vessels are smooth. His blood is wet. No clots. No problems. In other words, the plumbing allegedly works, which is, I guess, reassuring. Because acing a cognitive test can only do so much for a 79-year-old decaying body sculpted by stress, fast food, and evil. Leavitt also went on to make sure that she would offer some critiques to the New York Times for questioning his stamina. How dare they? Because obviously any journalist asking about the president's health is personally attacking him. Meanwhile, mysterious bruising on his hands, already documented, and it's getting framed as benign and common. His age is fine, circulation is fine, his bruised hands are fine, the weird makeup on them are fine. And we definitely don't need to talk about it. And we don't need to talk about why the president himself can't even remember which organ got scanned. So yes, the MRI is perfect, the organs are perfect, and the press is the problem. Everything is under control, except of course the part where the patient can't identify what part of his body was scanned. But hey, preventable and comprehensive, covers a lot of sins these days. So congratulations, America. A drug lord just got pardoned, more people getting murdered in self-defense, and Trump's MRI is perfect, even though he has no clue what part of his own body was scanned. And the world keeps turning. Karoline Leavitt keeps strutting in her Amazon look of the day. And if you want more of me ripping into this nonsense, hit subscribe, because trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Oh my gosh, who's in the chair? Who's in the chair? Trump's MRI. Oh my God, stay right there, okay? Don't move an inch. You still got the camera rolling? Stay right there, okay? Wow, we look like Republicans. Okay, goodbye.